Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to CUE Student Sharing Section organized by the Center for Applied English Studies in collaboration with the Faculty of Arts. Thank you for joining us. I'm Lisa Cheung from CAES. Today, while you are navigating different virtual booths to find out more about Hong Kong U, maybe you start to think, what are the academic challenges that first-year students have to cope with? Or even what will my intellectual journey look like at Hong Kong U? I'm sure you'll find all these answers in today's section. Today is our great honor to have Dr. Parco Wong to moderate the section for us. Dr. Wong is the program coordinator of our first-year English course, Core University English, or better known as CUE. He received his PhD from Hong Kong U with expertise in critical discourse analysis, sociolinguistics, and pragmatics, and he will be talking to 4 former CUE students. And it's a pleasure to have 4 former CUE students joining us today. Candy Chan, Year 2 student from the Faculty of Social Sciences, majoring in Government and Law. Charles Lee, also Year 2 student majoring in Government and Law. We have Disney Chan, Year 2 student from the Faculty of Education, BEd, ECE, and SE program, as well as Jasmine Cheung, Year 3 student from the Faculty of Science, majoring in Chemistry and Astronomy. We're also very delighted to have 2 course teachers with us, Dr. Natalie Fawn and Dr. Alice Yang. Without further delay, let me pass the time to Dr. Parco Wong. Parco, please.
Well, actually, it's very nice to see you, Lisa, my other colleagues here, and also my former CUE students here. This is indeed a very good chance to let people outside Hong Kong U know what CAES 1000 Core University English is about, and the benefits this course brings to all the first-year undergraduate students. I believe that one key question that new HKU students would normally ask concerns learning opportunities. So Candy, Charles, Disney, and Jasmine, one question to all of you: what are the learning opportunities that you value the most in the course CAES 1000? Maybe Candy first?
Yeah, so thank you for passing this question to me. So in my opinion, I feel like we can learn a lot of academic literacy skills from the course. So namely critical reading, academic writing and speaking, citation and referencing, and most important of all, actually, it's how to avoid plagiarism. So we get to learn how to express our views supported by academic sources, and how to avoid empty rhetoric or cliches, both in writing and speaking occasions. And besides, I think the CAES course offers us the chance to learn from exemplars. So our tutors will provide us with exemplar writings when we are to finish our essays and report tasks. And from learning from the useful, good expressions and phrases written by the exemplars, we can shadow, learn from their style and then try to improve on our own work. And lastly, it's about the individual speaking. So we get to learn how to speak without fully relying on our notes, and how to keep confident eye contact with our audience, and to finish our speaking tasks in a really fluent and confident way. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, maybe Charles, yeah?
Well, Henry mentioned plagiarism, which I think is the most valuable learning opportunities I learned in CAES 1000 class. And I believe that it is very important to avoid plagiarism by using the correct citation and referencing style. And in CAES 1000 class, I learned PAP style. I believe it's very useful, and I can really use it in all social science assignments. And as we all know, the students from CAES class come from 10 faculties, and maybe the referencing style differs from faculty to faculties, but it still gives us very concise and precise introduction about the referencing and citation. For example, in law assignments, it requires plenty of citations from judges and case laws. In my sociology or politics assignment, I can focus more on how to paraphrase or apply the ideas into my essay, and I can learn all of this in CAES class. And as I mentioned, students come from 10 faculties, and another learning opportunities I value most is I can meet many people from different faculties, and I can learn from them. For example, last year I met a friend called Jason. He's studying executive surveying, and after we introduce ourselves, and we always have discussion uh, during our lessons, and I believe it's very rare that we can have oral practice in university. And in every lesson, we have a very good quality of time learning how to write essays, also how to read others' essays and learn from them, and discuss uh, different kind of topics like IT technology and AI in English. I think it's very unforgettable.
Okay, very nice. Maybe Disney, can you say a few words?
Right, thank you. So adding on to what Charles just said about the classmates that we learn together with, I think the most valuable learning opportunity for me in this course is the peer learning that we get. Despite having to switch to online lessons last semester, because of COVID, we still had plenty of chances to discuss and interact with our classmates on Zoom. So we would have break room discussions where we could exchange our ideas and to introduce new perspectives to each other. And we also had peer review sessions where we would be reviewing each other's writing assignments. So I could really learn from my other classmates. I could pick up what they have done well, or I could also spot some mistakes that I might have also made in my own writing. And in addition to that, I could also practice the skill to critique others' work and to give people feedback, which is, I think, particularly useful to my field of study as an educator, because I would possibly be giving a lot of feedback to my future students. And so all of these skills are really applicable to my other courses as well, including my Common Core courses and my own major courses. For example, in essays and presentations, I could really be applying what I've learned into honing my writing and presentation skills. And because I took this course, the CAES course in semester 2 last year instead of semester 1, I could really see how much better I could be tackling my assignments in other courses. So I think these skills are also applicable not only to my university studies, but also to my future career and possibly for the rest of my life.
Wow, excellent. Thank you very much. Can I pass the floor to Jasmine?
Hi, I absolutely agree with Disney that the skills we learn are really transferable. Actually, the learning opportunities I get in CAES 1000 was exactly what I expected when I opted to take this course, even though I was qualified to be exempt from it. I took the SE, and I think that this course will really help me, even though I can exempt it. The most important thing is that the speaking and writing skills in academic setting, the skills I learned are absolutely transferable. They really come in handy in my other courses like Common Core, where I need to write essays, discuss with my classmates during tutorials, and do presentations. When I was in first year, I did some presentations and essays with other groupmates. Some of those who did not take the course actually did not know how to cite the sources properly. And I ended up doing the citation part for my groupmate. So I really want to, I think that this course will be really useful in that. And I'd like to say that the writing and speaking practices absolutely made me more confident in completing my assignment, my writing assignments, and expressing my opinion during tutorial group discussion. So another point is that this course will really be a stepping stone for me to get used to reading my assigned readings in my different courses, even Common Core courses, because many students I know told me that they really struggle with the long technical academic journal articles which are assigned to them. So I think the essays examples in the CUE textbook, they are really useful because they are shorter essays in a similar academic style. So I think that this will also serve as a transition for me to get used to reading and analyzing and discussing all these assigned readings with my peers.
Okay, right, excellent. I'm sure that future HKU students will find all your comments sharing very, very useful. But apart from learning opportunities, another question I would like to ask all of you is, what are your tips for first year HKU students to achieve academic success?
So maybe, yeah, I will start again. So in terms of maybe studying for the CUE course, this English course, I think if you guys, I know that you're a secondary 6 student, so if you currently have the habit to keep a vocabulary book or a useful phrases notebook, then it would be really useful for you not only in your secondary school life tackling the DSE, but also when you come up to university English courses, we can learn those useful phrases and effectively use them back in our own writing assignments by, revisiting them every day. So by the way, we can also get the chance to practice writing short paragraphs in our free time while studying the course in a certain semester, because our tutors are generous enough to offer time, and they would usually agree to review those short paragraphs for us and give us really useful feedback. But if we are talking about general courses, like maybe if you're taking law courses or social sciences courses or even science courses, it would be really useful to not pile up our course materials up until the last moment. Yeah, and also the assignments that the deadlines, don't try to start and do them 2 days before the deadline, because if we put aside things for a too overly long time, then it will be really easy and for us to forget what the lecturer has mentioned, and we will be really lost at that moment. And I would also advise you guys to keep your own set of notes and don't solely rely on the textbook and maybe sources from older brothers and sisters of Hong Kong U. Yeah, so that's it.
Okay, yes, nice. How about Charles? Can you say a few words?
After hearing some of your specific tips about academic success, I would like to give a more general idea about academic success. Because I really believe that it really depends how you define success. Because I believe no one can really judge or decide what is the best path for you. Because everyone is different, and every one of us has different attributes, we have different strengths and weaknesses, study different programs and courses, of course, and everyone said maybe academic success is GPA. Well, it may be a kind of success. I mean, if you have a high scoring GPA, you may be excel academically, but it may not really explain the whole picture. For example, in law courses, well, it's not really possible that you can score like A or A plus in a literary field, or you can give a really perfect analysis. Just it is just not the way it works. But for example, in faculty of science or in math, you can really know all the answers because it's all science. I know some of my friends in faculty of engineering, they could really score 99.5%. So my main point is, my first tip is you really need to know what you're good at. And when you know what you're good at, then you can, for example, in selecting a common course or when you're studying your major or minor, you can really follow the path, follow your interest. And it's not really about well-equipped yourself or by your hard work and determination. And it's more important that we walk in the right direction. And most importantly, you need to set yourself an achievable goal and not just listen to what others said about, scoring all A range to have GPA higher than 3.6. It's just not that stressful. So don't push yourself too much. You should know that everyone is different, everyone has a different goal, and you should have a more enjoyable and fruitful experience if you think in that.
Okay, right. Thank you very much. How about Disney? Can you say a few words?
Sure. So after hearing about the more academic tips or strategies to like maybe build your own style of learning, perhaps I can talk about something which is also very important but maybe neglected by a lot of people, which is the importance to take care of our mental health. So I think that as much as we should set a lot of goals for ourselves and maybe to devise our own revision schedules and be really organized in our learning, it's also really important to take good care of our mental health. with all the assignments and presentations and deadlines that we have in university, it's really normal to feel overwhelmed and stressed out, especially during the deadline periods, usually maybe in November, where all the deadlines are piled up together. I've also been through the phase where I had major mental fluctuations because I was so stressed out by everything I had to do. I remember having 3 presentations in one day during my first semester last year, so I was pretty overwhelmed by that. But of course, it's not always the case. I'm not trying to scare anyone. But the most important thing that I've learned is not to push ourselves too much and think that we always have to work day and night in order to get everything done and in order to be considered as a hardworking student. So you should always give yourselves breaks in between tasks. Maybe just go and watch some YouTube or some Netflix, or maybe do some exercise or even take a nap. So like this little break will really enable you to make yourself feel energized and refreshed again so that you can set off and continue to do your work. And if you're ever feeling that you're not coping with what's happening at the moment very well, or you're having a hard time, it's always nice to find someone to talk to. It can be your friends or your family members, or at HKU, we also have different support offered to students. For example, we have CAES, or we also have academic advisors and student advisors that each student are being assigned to, and they would be very willing to listen to you and help you out. So I think that being able to balance between work and play, and also really taking very good care of your mental health, is the key to having a higher productivity and leading to better academic outcomes.
Well, excellent. Very good advice. Can I also invite Jasmine to say a few words?
Thank you, Disney. I absolutely agree with your point that we should better take care of our mental health. I've also had mental health issues in my first year because I was a freshman and I'm stressful. I just completed DSE, so I'm still quite stressful at that time. So I also had consulted the counseling services and CAES, so it's pretty good. But although we have different definitions for academic success, I also have a few general tips. So the first tip, of course, is to brush up your English. Trust me, having a good command of English is essential. That's why we have the CUE course. And the most obvious reason, of course, is that your essays and your tutorials are all in English. If your tutors and lecturers don't understand what you're trying to write or say, it may affect your grades. But apart from this, in university, you need to communicate a lot using English. If you don't understand something and have to ask your lecturer or tutor, you want to make sure they understand you. HKU is an international university, so the language in common is English. I've heard a lot from students that they don't feel confident communicating with their classmates or group mates when doing group projects, which may affect their cooperation. Also, if you want to go to exchange or apply for postgraduate studies, you will also need to study and get a good result for IELTS or TOEFL test. And the other tip is that you should expand your connection in university. HKU is the perfect place for you to expand your connection in the field that you're interested in. You will get to know a lot of outstanding students and professors from all around the world. So you can seek advice from them or even work with them or for them in the future. So it really helps if you're more confident in your communication using English. If you're interested in their work, don't be shy and really go to approach them. You may get unexpected opportunities. So these two are my tips for first-year students to achieve academic success.
Thank you very much, Jasmine. Very, very good advice from all of you. But apart from students, I've also invited some course teachers here. I have Dr. Alice Yao and also Dr. Natalie Fong. There are some very experienced course teachers here. Can you also please share some tips or advice to the upcoming Hong Kong U students? Maybe Alice?
Okay, so hello everyone. So I believe that you're all in your secondary school studies. Okay, basically maybe from Form 4 to Form 6. So as many of the students have shared, I think overall, okay, when you first exposed to Hong Kong U, okay, it is very famous, okay, speaking English environment, okay, university in Hong Kong. And then one of the most important point, okay, of like taking CAES 1000, okay, is to learn the major difference, okay, between your English you're learning in secondary school and also the university English. And then I believe, okay, none of you, okay, have heard of like APA citations. And then as you can see from all the 4 students sharing, you can see how much, okay, they have gained, okay, from, for example, like writing essays or like speaking in an academic way. So this is something, okay, that you will definitely acquire, okay, the skills which is different, okay, from the secondary school. And then of course you can say that we, okay, the tutors or instructors, okay, in CAES 1000 are all here to help you and also to foster your growth, okay, at the university, because you're all fresh, okay, you're considered as freshmen, okay, when you first enter the university. So that's why, okay, we are to help you, okay, to facilitate your university growth and development, not just English, okay, because we all care, okay, about your mental health, of course, and most importantly, your academic skills, okay, to survive, okay, and to strive, okay, in university. Maybe I'll pass on, okay, to Natalie, okay, Dr. Natalie Fong, okay, who is more experienced CAES 1000 lecturer, okay, to share with you some more tips, okay, about how to develop, okay, your skills, okay, at the university. So Dr. Fong, please.
Well, thank you, Alice. I'm Natalie. Thank you very much for your participation in this webinar. We have heard lots of good things that you can get out of from the course or from the students, current students in the University of Hong Kong. I would like to say CAES 1000 Core University English is the first of its kind in the region and is one of the biggest course in the University of Hong Kong. We are going to teach students the essential academic writing literacy skills and speaking literacy skills that you found very useful, not only supporting your common core curriculum, but also your university study. And one of the course aims is to help you develop academic English language skills that you will need to complete your university degree. So that's very essential if you would like to achieve a success within your university. And as Alice and other students mentioned, I'm sure you'll find the course useful, especially you find how to cite and acknowledge other people's work that you haven't learned before in your secondary school. And one of the unique things in CAES 1000 is you're going to learn something that's very different from your secondary school and from your high school. The English that you have learned is very important for your university study. And we would like students to transfer and apply the skills not only in other subjects, the faculty subjects, we would like you to apply the skills in future upon graduation, all right? So I hope you enjoy, if opportunity arises, I hope you enjoy the course and enjoy the life at Hong Kong U. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for all the tips, all the advice. I really appreciate that. Right, in fact, I have one more question about challenges. So Candy, Charles, Disney, and Jasmine, can you tell me something about challenges for effective communication at HKU as a first-year student? Candy?
All right, so actually I totally agree with Jasmine on the point, like, how important it is to develop a good command of English. And I totally recognize that all the things that Jasmine mentioned, such as maybe discussing in tutorials and going on exchange, English is so important. But at the same time, this is also the most challenging thing to do. It is really difficult for us to get adapted and fully comfortable with English speaking and learning environment in HKU, because I believe maybe the 8 attendees here, all of you, not everyone is from a fully, not from a full English speaking environment in your own secondary school. So I guess maybe just in English courses, you get to speak in English. But then the moment that you step into HKU, there's a really drastic difference between our expectation and reality. So it might be a little bit difficult for us to get used to the environment or the communication atmosphere here, because almost everyone is speaking in English, maybe except some Chinese language courses. Yeah, so I guess the key difficulties when dealing with my studies in the beginning was it takes me a really long time to think about the plot, the points, or I really can't come up with those words that I want to mention in when writing those academic work. And also it's really difficult maybe when in the speaking occasions, in tutorial sessions, I would always feel that my point is being talked about by another person already, and I will go silent and have nothing to talk about when it's my turn. So maybe in the beginning, it would be quite hard for us to effectively express ourselves, and maybe it is really normal for us to experience the point that if we can't find the right word to express ourselves, but just take it slowly. Don't see that as your failure, but it's a necessary path for everyone to go through.
Okay, right. How about Charles?
I actually faced a similar challenge as Candy does. Because last year I remember I attended sociology for and I met a Swiss guy and he's an exchange student. Well, I think like both of us are speaking English, but not in a very fluent way, because because I'm actually very shy and not really fluent or not very confident to speak English with everyone else. But talking to is a really international like university, and there are many students from all over the world. And even my faculty advising professor is a German, and some of my classmates in law tutorials and lectures, they come from many places like mainland, or some of them can only speak English. I don't know why, but my main point is we really need to know this, to speak English well, and for and effective communication it's not really about speaking, but it's also about listening, because communication is about absorb what others say and also to respond. So that's what communication means. And even last year, my contract law professor, she can only speak, and she speaks really fast, and it's really hard for me to catch up what she said in the lecture. But after CAES class, every time in lesson, 3 hours of classes, I kind of force myself to speak English and listen to what others say. And well, as time goes by, I'm really confident in speaking English, and I can listen them well and also respond quickly. But I still believe that there's a room for me to improve. But I think this challenge, it is normal, and everyone will face it. Don't worry.
Okay, right. Disney, can you say a few words?
Yeah, sure. So I absolutely agree with Candy and Charles on the point that like English is really important at HKU. I think particularly because of the fact that most of us do not have English as our first language. So it can really be a challenge to suddenly be in a learning environment where English is the medium of instruction for like 99% of the time. So like most all the lectures or tutorial discussions would be held in English, and you have to do your assignments in English, also present in English. So everything is really very English intensive, I would say. And especially in Common Core courses, really you get to meet people from like all over the university, from different faculties with different backgrounds. A lot of them may be international students. So most of the time we would have to communicate with them in English. It's not like we can have our own discussions sometimes in Cantonese. So I feel like it also can be a slightly intimidating experience to have to go up to international students and be able to talk to them and like have different discussions with them. So it may really take some time to have to adapt to this new learning environment. But I think if we're not afraid to step out of this comfort zone and just to practice more and like try more, then it's not really that big of a problem. And as for me, myself, I think one of the biggest challenge that I may still be encountering would be to deliver my ideas very precisely. Sometimes I find myself struggling to be able to express myself clearly and concisely to other people, especially maybe during class when I suddenly get called to answer a certain question, which maybe I am not so prepared to answer it. I may like hesitate a bit, or I may panic a bit, and like on the spot, I just cannot find the appropriate wordings or phrases to really express my ideas. And particularly if the lecturers or professors are foreigners, I think it also somehow pressurized me a bit more, that I cannot maybe squeeze in a little bit of Cantonese to aid with my explanation. But so this is like sort of what I'm also trying to overcome and improve on. But I think overall, taking the CAES course has also helped me a lot already on this aspect. So like I'm really more able to train myself to deliver my ideas more clearly and concisely. So yeah, I think as we spend more time here at HKU, we are always like training ourselves and practicing to do better. Yeah.
Right, excellent. How about Jasmine?
Thank you. I think that you all have mentioned some really common challenges faced by HKU students. And guess what? One of the major challenges I heard about the most is actually sending emails to professors. If you don't know how to write a proper email in different contexts in the university, then it will really be a problem. You'll have to write emails in some formal situations like requesting for internship opportunities, or asking for a recommendation letter for your application to postgrad studies or scholarship, or maybe just simply inquiring the professors about something and seeking help. So you don't want any confusion there because of some problems you face when conveying your message. And you also want the professor or the staff to have a good impression of you. I worked as a tutor for the Science Foundation course SCNC 1111, and I've also seen loads of peculiar emails, like no address of the recipient, no signature, tone sound rude or arrogant, and maybe poor grammar, etc. So imagine you are the tutor that received these emails. That would be really awful to read, and you may be confused about the email. So that's why learning how to write a proper email is really important. And like what Disney said, English is really important in our communication, in our study. So for example, in group project, you need to chat with your group mates using English. As Disney has mentioned, we have a lot of international students, and maybe, for example, in the WhatsApp group, you can't just type Cantonese pinyin in English because they're international students. So we really need to get used to that. And the CAES 1000 course will be a perfect opportunity to practice speaking. And for presentation, from the CAES 1000 course, we also learn how to really cite the sources verbally. So when you give an academic presentation in your course, you'll also need to learn how to explain jargons and citing the source verbally, and that is really important. And you can also learn about the key structure of developing an argument in academic style, which you will learn in the CAES 1000 course too. And for tutorials, we need to discuss in an academic setting. And that is another thing that taking the CAES 1000 course will help. And that's pretty much about the challenges that for the effective communication.
Okay, right, excellent. So honestly, I'm really grateful to have all of you here for the sharing, because all the information you share with us, you gave us, is really very valuable to us. Okay, so apart from the 3 questions I asked you, do you have any other things about the course that you want to share with us? Anything? Okay.
Maybe one point to add is the really nice teachers teaching this course. I feel like they really prepared a lot and are really eager to let us learn how to apply English in the academic setting. I think that they really understand the transition from high school to freshman year in college is quite drastic. And so they are really keen on helping us developing our English abilities in academic settings. And I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. In fact, apart from the teachers, all the students, I would say most of the students, they're very proactive and they're very hardworking. And I really feel that they want to do better in the English language improvement. So I do believe that CAES 1000 is really a course that can help them improve their academic English a lot. Thank you very much. So can I now pass the floor back to Lisa? Do you want to say a few words?
Thank you, Dr. Wong. Wow, wow, wow. This is really a lively and interesting discussion. And I'm sure all of our, not just only Hong Kong U students, our audience, prospective students, will find your tips, your suggestions, your comments extremely useful. I just want to say something is that I remember actually I started to teach COE since the launch of the 4-year curriculum in 2012. So what I like most about COE is that I can teach students from different backgrounds because this is an English course open to all students across faculties. Just like here, our students, they have various backgrounds. So I just want to say that this is an exciting moment for students to open up themselves, explore and challenge yourself. So thank you very much. Okay, our students, Candy, Charles, Disney, and Jasmine, thank you for participating in this very important event. And of course, my big thank you to my colleagues, Dr. Wong, Dr. Fong, and also Dr. Yao. So audience, okay, if you really are interested in knowing more about COE or CAES, please visit our website at caes.hku.hk. Thank you very much. Have a very, very good evening. Goodbye.
Bye.